Now, since 2014, the Indian government has rolled out multi-pronged policies to promote sustainable practices and push the country's green economy. Our next report looks at India's bullish approach to green fuel alternatives and possible challenges awaiting the largest democracy. Here's a report. Take a look.
India is undergoing a significant green transformation, prioritizing sustainable practices across various sectors. A key driver of this change is the government's focus on clean energy. The country has climbed to the fourth position globally in terms of renewable energy capacity. This growth is fueled by ambitious government initiatives and a growing focus on solar, wind and other clean energy sources. Additionally, the National Green Hydrogen Mission aims to develop clean energy solutions for the future. India's green push extends beyond power generation. The recently announced compressed biogas blending mandate aims to create a cleaner fuel mix by blending biogas with CNG and PNG across the city gas distribution network. This is expected to not only transform the transport sector but also empower agriculture in the country. Nitin Gadkari, India's Minister of Road Transport and Highways, envisions a world where farmers will generate not just food but sustainable aviation fuel. The government has also committed $130 billion infrastructure budget allocation, prioritizing the energy sector. Natural gas is also playing a crucial role in India's green transition. The focus on natural gas as a cleaner alternative to traditional fuels has led to the inauguration of 201 CNG stations across 17 states. Bajaj Auto recently announced plans to introduce CNG bikes by June this year. Additionally, the establishment of India's first small-scale LNG unit signifies the country's commitment to a more sustainable energy mix. However, critics argue that natural gas, while cleaner than coal, still emits greenhouse gases. Long-term plans for transitioning to cleaner energy sources beyond natural gas are essential. Moreover, the upcoming elections will decide the fate of India's green policies and net zero ambitions. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
All right, now for more on this, we are being joined by Mr. Ashwin Patil, founder and director of Biofuels Junction Private Limited, live from Mumbai. Welcome to the broadcast, sir.
Good morning and thank you, Amka.
So, of course, my first question to you, green fuels such as hydrogen, biofuels are gaining traction globally. How do you assess India's readiness to adopt and integrate these green fuels into the energy mix?
Yeah, that's very interesting. India, I would say that it's ready in terms of usage of green energy into the fuel mix. I mean, I would rather put it in this way that when we talk about fuel, green fuel, we talk about, say, gas, liquid and solid. So government participation across these fuels is very important and government has been taking steps. I mean, just to share that government's response in terms of policy measures or in terms of adoption has been across, right from R&D, which is basically supporting the projects at central government educational institute. Then it comes to promotion of these fuel through PSU or attracting investment in the sector, easing logistics or incentive to user. These are the various steps where government has taken policy measures and promoted this fuel for integrated into the fuel mix. Now, if we talk about specific gas fuel like hydrogen, it is globally it's been talked about that green hydrogen is the fuel of the future. And in India also, apart from government, there are large corporates who are actually committing resources for green hydrogen projects. And we can see that India becoming a powerhouse when it comes to the fuels like green hydrogen. Second is within the gaseous fuel, you have compressed biogas, which is made from agriculture residue. And recent G20 alliance, there was a group of countries where they have actually pledged to promote CBG, and India has been leading that front. So India in Bio Alliance has committed to import technology for CBG, also share their findings, and India will become CBG independent very soon because India has large quantum of agriculture residue, which is the feedstock for making compressed biogas. So on the gas front, yes, there is a very strong possibility and a timeline to have these fuel into the India's energy mix.
Right.
Now talk about uh, in liquid, we have ethanol, we have biodiesel. India has already made progress in terms of ethanol blending program. When we started, it was like a fairy tale whether it is possible, where
Right.
the ecosystem is adaptive. Now, ethanol blending has already reached close to 11%, and there's a target to reach 20% in next few years. And there are many incentives from government which have actually enabled this. That is making ethanol right from broken rice to sugarcane and corn. So there we have taken large steps to
Okay.
integrate. Similarly, yeah.
Thank you so much for that, sir. In fact, I just want to expand on that further, what you were saying. When we talk about integration, let's also focus on the key challenges that do hinder the widespread adoption of green fuels in India. And what policy measures or incentives do you think can be introduced to address these challenges?
Right. As you said, for all these fuel, the feedstock is agriculture residue, and the biggest problem in India is basically mechanization of collection of this residue. Government has taken to tackle these challenges, government has actually supported in many ways, and there are many ways where industry is expecting government to participate. First is a collection of residue. This being very, very light and the bulk density being low, it is very difficult to transport beyond a certain distance. So localized production of these fuels is very, very important. And government has built out incentives in terms of subsidy to farmers who are actually not burning the residue and giving it to, for further conversion. Then there is mechanization where the balers are required in the north where the parali and the paddy straw is burned. Similar way, cotton is burnt in many parts of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Karnataka. So there, the similar efforts can be required. So overall, these are the challenges. One is collection. Second is mechanization for the logistics, and third is the ecosystem to basically transform that into fuel. These being very, very spread out, the manufacturing units are small. They are located into rural areas, and hence they require incentives in terms of interest subsidy or various measures. But I think government is taking steps. These are the challenges which are there for widespread adoption of green fuel in India. I think government
Okay.
will come up with the policy. Another important point is the policy measure help for the user industry. Suppose in terms of lower GST rates for the usage of green fuel versus the fossil fuel, that will help us in net zero transition and adoption of green fuel.
Okay, right, sir. Now, also let's talk about India investing in and expanding CNG infrastructure. What would you say are the advantages of using CNG as a transportation fuel, and how does it compare to traditional fuels in terms of emissions and cost effectiveness?
CNG has been proven already as a cleaner fuel, cheaper fuel compared to the traditional fossil fuels like petrol and diesel. And as I see it, basically penetration of CNG is already reaching various states. Now the biggest issue with CNG is transportation. It's very, very expensive in terms of transporting CNG to different nooks and corners of the country. I think there, since CNG is cheaper, cleaner fuel, and the ecosystem of vehicles to adopt CNG has already been improving. As you only said that Bajaj is coming out with a CNG bike, that will give a strong push to adoption of CNG. What I envisage important factor is the government has recently announced blending of CBG with CNG. So that is basically compressed biogas made, that is biomethane made from agriculture residue by anaerobic digestion. And that will be available at nooks and corners of the country, which will actually expedite the adoption of CNG across India. So when you ask me about CNG, as I said, it's already a proven fuel. What you need is better infrastructure for promotion, wider ecosystem of vehicles to adopt CNG, and something like CNG so that it's available everywhere. So we are already,
Okay. All right. Well, sir, thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch with, of course, all your insights and perspective on this. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.